Hi, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and today I will be bringing you 4 wood Father's Day plaques. And these plaques are the ones from Dollar Tree. So let's get started with plaque number 1. So for this one, it's an oval wooden shape, and we're going to be using some white acrylic paint with a sponge dauber. Now, I like using a sponge dauber because you can usually get full coverage in just one paint layer. So we're going to dry this with the heat gun. And if you notice, both of my hands have the fingernail polish on it. Yep, got it done. Okay, so I'm just doing the same thing to the back of the wood piece. And again, I'm going to dry it with my heat gun. Now you can just let this air dry if you want. It doesn't take that long. But for video purposes, I wanted to get it done quickly. So now what I'm going to take is some acrylic black paint. I'm going to take a smaller sponge dauber, and then we're going to go around the edges. Now this will also get a little bit of that black on the front and the back, which I like. See how it gets a little bit on there? Not very much, but a little bit, and that's what I like. So I'm just daubing. Needed a little bit more paint. Didn't have quite enough. I'm just going to touch up the areas where I had it laying against the table there when I was doing it. So that's all done. And now I'm going to take my heat gun and dry it. Just going around the edges. Because the white part's already dry. We're just drying the black part, flipping it over. Still going around the edges, flipping, going around. Okay, now once that's dry, we're going to set that aside and get out our vinyl. Now, I've already cut out what I wanted from my Cricut, and I just picked out some stuff on Design Space and sized it to the appropriate size for my oval. And this is just some matte, I think it's matte vinyl. Yes, matte vinyl. It's some of that vinyl that came in the packet that I used on my previous video. The ones with the Father's Day on the tins. Having a little trouble there, but You know, we'll work with it. You can usually figure out where to put the stuff back on your backer sheet because there's indentations from where the vinyl was cut out. So I'm just trying to line it up properly. So like I've said before, vinyl isn't the easiest thing to work with. You just need to be patient and persistent. I always seem to have issues, but you can usually work through it and overcome, and your project looks really good. Again, I'm just going to put this piece back on there, lining it up with the indentations on the backer sheet. Now I'm just going to weed out the pieces that I don't need. This one says, Real Dads Play with Fire, and it has a grill. I thought that was cute. And it has a fork and a spatula. So now I'm just going to put my transfer tape on there, rub it down with my tool that I got from the Dollar Tree. Gonna flip it over and do the same thing to the back. It's coming up pretty good. Have to use my fingernail to get some of it to go down onto the transfer tape. There we have it. So Real Dads Play with Fire, with a grill, a fork, and a spatula. So I just want to decide which side I want to be my front. And then I want to center this design in the middle of my plaque. And like I said, this is one of those, excuse me. This is one of the plaques from the Dollar Tree. All of these four plaques are from the Dollar Tree. And they're pretty decent size. And the thickness isn't too bad either. So I'm just pulling back the transfer tape very gently, making sure my design is going to stick on my plaque. Now, I didn't notice that one of the lines had come off and one of the dots. They're still on the transfer tape. I find them later. Now we're going to make a hanger for this. Now, I don't want it to be very long. And then I'm just going to put knots on the ends of my jute rope there. Decide how long I want my hanger to be. Cut that off and then put a knot on the other end. And then since this wood plaque is a decent thickness, I'm going to use my staple gun to staple the hanger on. And I just use one staple for each side. And that's it for this one. I like the black and the white. What do you think? Like I said, I do find the dot and the line later, and you'll see that in the picture here. Got them both on there. So that's what it looks like. And now on to plaque number 2. So for this one, I've already painted it the same way we painted the previous one. And I've cut my design out with my Cricut. And again, it's just another one from Design Space using the same matte vinyl. Want to make sure my design stays on the backer sheet there as I'm pulling the piece of the vinyl off that I don't need. Just going to continue pulling this off, making sure my design stays where it should be. Now I'm just going to weed out the pieces that I don't need after I put this last letter on there. And apparently I'm missing a letter. So I had to find it and put it on. So this one says, a dad like you is harder to find than toilet paper during a pandemic. I thought that was cute. So again, this was just another design from Design Space. All I did was size it appropriately for my plaque. Trying to get it in the right spot. And now we'll weed out the portions we don't need. And this is just one of those tools you get in a 2-pack from the Dollar Tree for weeding. It works pretty good. They have 2 different tips on them, and this was the one with a larger tip. So I thought these would make nice little gifts for Father's Day. I am having a craft show the first weekend of June. So I thought, you know, I might sell these in my craft booth. So I would probably sell them for about $7. And hopefully people will buy them and give them to their fathers for Father's Day. What do you think? Is this something that you would get for a gift for Father's Day? Now there was a little line that came off with my weeding that should have been on my backer sheet there for the toilet paper. So I had to put that back on. So now we're going to get our transfer tape. And this is just some clear adhesive that I've been using. You don't have to get the expensive stuff for transferring your stuff. It's just clear contact paper. My husband had several rolls of it. So it was just laying around not being used. And I'm like, well, let me try it. And I think it works pretty good. So I'm just burnishing it. I did it on the front, and now I'm going to do it on the back. I think it's most important to do it on the back, and then you peel the backing sheet off. And then make sure your design adheres to your transfer sheet there. You do want to pull it off slowly. And if your design starts to come up with it, just take your fingernail and kind of push it down to the transfer tape. Now I had that one O that came completely off, but we'll fix it. we'll go ahead and lay this down on our plaque. And as you can see, it's pretty much a perfect fit. I think it was the C from pandemic came off. So we're gonna put that back on. And now we're going to burnish this onto our plaque. Now, when you add adhesive to an object that you have painted, you probably might want to let it sit for like several hours before you put it on, because it will pull up some of the paint. I mean, I didn't on this one, thankfully, but sometimes the paint, I guess, is not fully dry, and it does get on the back of your adhesive if one of your letters comes off, and you'll see that it just has paint on it. So you might want to let it dry several hours. I didn't with mine because I wanted to get this video out and get my projects done. Plus, I'm impatient. But they still work. It still worked. So a dad like you is harder to find than toilet paper during a pandemic. And there it is, hanging on my wall. I thought this was a cute one too. And now on to plaque number 3. So again, this is another plaque from the Dollar Tree, and we have our vinyl. The same matte vinyl that we've been using. And I think this one was a booger. Yeah, a real booger. Because I decided to use a different transfer tape. And that was kind of the wrong decision. This weeded good. The vinyl pulled off nicely like you saw, better than the others. But it goes downhill from here. So dad, a noun, a son's first hero and a daughter's first love. So I decided to use this studio paper transfer tape, and yeah, it just didn't work out very well at all for this. I was so frustrated, you would not believe it, but I continued on. I persevered, and this might not be the best plaque ever, but it is done. It is done. Did I want to pull my hair out? You betcha. I'm not even sure I want to watch this while I'm doing my voiceover. So I did speed it up. I almost wanted to give up. But like I said, I persevered. I continued on. I fought the good fight. It wasn't pretty, but I won. Look at all those letters that are coming off, and I'm putting them on that tool there so I won't lose them. I had a heck of a time. And I sped this up like 3 times. Look at that, another letter. And look, those three stayed on the backing sheet, but I'm like, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm just going to have to work with this. So I'm placing it down on my plaque. Going to burnish it down. What letters are on there anyway. And I'm kind of rolling the transfer tape. And look, one of the letters stuck to the transfer tape. I'm telling you, oh, it was rough. It was real rough. I like what it says, and I continued on, but yeah, I think I would go back to using my clear contact paper for the transfer tape. I don't know what was going on with this particular brand of transfer tape, but because I was using the same kind of vinyl that I have been using, everything was the same, but you saw what a disaster this is. So now I have to put these letters on individually, trying to get them in the right place, trying to figure out if it's a U or an N because they look pretty much the same. So as I'm taking the letters off my little scraper tool there, I'm putting them on the end of this weeding tool, and that way it'll help me get it on the design easier than using my finger. So dad is a noun. It's a son's first hero and a daughter's first love. Isn't that true? That is so true. So there, I thought that one was a U, but I guess it was an N. And so I'm going to switch that out. Put the I on. So let me just say, the struggle was real for this plaque. So have any of you ever had to deal with this, and what did you do? Did you keep going? Did you redo it? Did you just set it aside and say, forget it? What did you do? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so I think this is about as good as this one's going to get. So we're going to put a hanger on the back. And again, with all these wood pieces, they're thick enough that you can use a stapler to put your hanger on with. And with all of them, I did paint the front and the back with a white acrylic paint and then the black paint around the edges. And I think that turned out really good. And I think it looks good with the black vinyl also. And then I just use one staple in each end above the knot. So there it is. And here it is hanging on my wall. As you can see, it's not perfect, but that's it. Now on to our last plaque, number 4. So for this one, the vinyl is different. I think it's Oracle vinyl. It is black and it is matte. I just had a piece the right size to do this, and I didn't want to use another full sheet of the other vinyl that I have sitting there. And look how nicely that peels off. And then we're just going to weed it. It says, "Thou shalt not try me, Dad 24/7. So I thought that was cute. So that weeded perfectly. And now we're going to use some more transfer tape. And this is the previous transfer tape that I used in the first 2 plaques. This is the clear adhesive. Contact paper that you get in a roll. And look at that. It's coming up pretty good. Just going to burnish it a little bit more. Kind of roll that backing off. Look at that. Oh, I was so relieved. I didn't have to fight with this one at all. So I'm just going to lay this on our plaque, and then we're going to burnish it down. And I'm just going to kind of roll it off. No, I'm pulling it off. So it comes off really well. Look how easy that was. So, "Thou shalt not try me, Dad 24/7. Of course, that might be a plaque. Well, I guess it could be a plaque that a wife gives to her husband so he can hang it up for his kids. But I liked it. Now, I didn't notice when I was putting the hanger on that I really put it in the wrong place until I hung it on the wall, but I do fix that. You can see it's not in the middle. Shame on me. But I do fix it, as you can see, as it's hanging on the wall. And there it is. "Thou shalt not try me, Dad 24/7. And now here's all 4 of them. Let me know which one is your favorite. I kind of like Real Dads Play with Fire. Again, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and if you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up and share my videos with those that you think might like them. And I just want to thank you all for watching my videos, and if you're a subscriber, please remember to hit that bell so you can see all my new uploads.